December 5th, and it's not snowing today, at least not yet. We had a decent day yesterday. It snowed about 3 inches overnight the night before into the early morning, and then it cleared off. We had a decent day, and then overnight it got down to about 15 degrees or so. Middle of the day now, it's warmed up to about 25. Supposed to be just a chance of snow today, and then tomorrow afternoon it's supposed to start warming up and snowing again, and possibly snowing and raining on Tuesday. And who knows what's going to happen after that. The forecast is for it to get colder again. We'll see. Like I said, it's been pretty decent the last couple of days. I'll get the Bobcat warmed up here now. I'm going to go ahead and scrape some more of this snow down. Like I said, we had about 3-4 inches of snow, 3 inches of snow, something like that overnight, night before last. But now it's froze and it's kind of packed down. So I'm going to scrape it a little bit, clean it up, and see if there's anything else I can do today. So it shouldn't take me long to do this. Well, I got that smoothed up a little bit. There was a few clods and stuff left in there from when I plowed it the other day. They were kind of ankle biters, and then that little skiff of snow on there. By polishing that up a little bit and getting that down, it's going to do one of two things. Right now, with as cold as it is, it's going to help the ground freeze up, so I won't be gouging into it all the time with that blade. I'll be able to just skim right across it. Kind of bad because it's going to be icy. There's already got spots in it that are icy where there was water flowing up through. There's always water flowing up through the ground here. It's going to make it a little icy getting around. We'll just have to get our cork shoes out, spike shoes out and stuff to walk around on. But it'll be a lot nicer for plowing the snow because I won't be gouging into the dirt all the time, into the sand and gravel. The other thing is if it does warm up and rain, that skims that snow off of there. That's that much less to melt. Maybe it'll get down to bare dirt again. I don't know. Don't hold out much hope for that right now, but you never know what's going to happen here. It could turn off and be 45-50 degrees for the next 2 months, but I kind of doubt it the way the weather pattern is now, but you never know. I've got an old water tank up there, a cistern, aluminum tank. It's about a 300-gallon tank that we've been kicking around for years. We used it for a little while, and then we've got our big tanks. It's kind of in the way, so I put a dollar amount on it. I'll take it down to the highway here and see if somebody wants it. December 6th, and it's a pretty nice day today. At least it started out that way. We've had a couple of nice days now. Been able to get some stuff down outside. We had an old aluminum cistern that I got 30 years ago that a guy that I knew built for his place, and then when he moved, he gave it to us. We used it down here on the shop before we started building up here. And then when we built the house, we had it up there and we used it for laundry and showers and stuff until we got the big cistern in. It's just kind of been sitting here since then, and I've had to move it around about a dozen times or more to get it out of the way. I finally decided I wasn't going to use it anytime soon, so I dug it out, put a price on it, took it down to the highway to see if anybody wanted it, and gosh, before I even got it unloaded off the Bobcat, a guy stopped and wanted it, so we got that out of the way. What I want to do here now is trim up these boards here, these timbers and stuff here that I got. This is the hemlock that I cut up off those danger trees that I was going to use to make a shelter for the 3 power wagons up there. We got those milled up and I just stacked them up. I didn't sticker them or do anything with them. I was figuring I was going to get to that right away, but then circumstances conspired so we didn't get to it right away. So anyway, it's a nice day today so far. It's supposed to start snowing tonight and possibly snow or rain tomorrow, so this is kind of the last nice day we're going to have for a little while. It was a little cold. I think it was 15 degrees or less last night. It's warmed up to about 20 now, so it's not quite so bad. Anyway, I'm going to get to that there. I'll probably disassemble that stack there. Like I said, I didn't stick them or anything, so they're probably froze together. I disassemble that stack and do a little work on those timbers to square them up and stuff like that. try to get them ready to use for that shelter, and hope maybe I can get a frameworks built on it here if we get another couple of nice days. But over the last summer, I've discovered and bought myself a couple of new tools for using these heavy timbers. I've been using 7¼ inch skill saw, or I've got a Prezi beam saw that I've used before. That works okay. And then of course I used various chainsaws for things. And we've got the 20-inch grizzly planer to use to plane the stuff down with, but that gets kind of awkward with these 6x6s and 4x6s and stuff like that. So I got a Makita 6-inch planer for planing timbers down with. They've got a 12-inch planer, but I didn't really need a 12-inch one. A 6-inch one will do for what I need. And then I got this skill saw. They call it a Sawsquatch. It's basically got the worm drive skill saw motor on it, but it's set up just like a skill saw, but with a 16 and 5/16 blade on it. It'll cut all the way through a 6-inch timber at 90 degrees, and then supposedly for a miter, for a 45 degree, it'll cut through a 4-inch timber. So I haven't tried it yet. It's been sitting in the basement just waiting for the opportunity to try it. I gotta say I'm just a little bit intimidated by this beast. Well, we're gonna give it a try. This is gonna be the first trial on it. I'm not using the planer yet. We'll get it out later and use it, but I'm gonna try using this. And first thing I'm gonna do is just square up one end of these. I've got the 12-foot timbers there all stacked up in one stack. They're probably froze down. I'll have to bust them loose. And then I got the 8-foot timbers there. The top of those timbers is going to be cut at an angle depending on what the pitch of the roof is, because the timber that goes across the top of them then will fit flat on it. I want the bottom of it squared. But anyway, it's always good to start out with a squared off material. So that's what I'm going to do today, is square those big timbers up. So this thing comes with this base that it sits down on and clamps down on for transporting. That keeps the blade out of the way, gives you something to store the thing on that's not too awkward. Got about an 8 or 10-foot cord. It's not quite square. Okay, now it's square. I use a Johnson speed square, Hanson speed square, whatever it is, to use as a fence for making square cuts on boards. And usually what I'll do is just hold on to it and grab the skill saw, the circle saw, and put the table against it and run along it for a fence and cut it off. But that skill saw, that Sawsquatch, is too big and awkward to do that with, so I had to go in and find a clamp and clamp that square down onto the timber. I made my first cut. It went pretty good. It's just a standard gear drive, worm drive, I guess, skill saw, so it's not real fast, but it cut through there real smooth. And this is the end of it here. This is what a chainsaw cut looks like. Of course, that was just cut off the log and not off the timber, but that's what a chainsaw cut off looks like. And this is what the Sawsquatch saw cut off looks like. That's just as smooth as a baby's butt. Really nice. So that cut through there pretty good. I got my first timber cut. I'll go ahead and do the next one. I want to use the wide portion of the table on that to give as much support as possible to make as nice a square cut as we can. Alright, another beautiful cut. And that one went through a knot. These knots are harder than the hubs of hell on here. Well, that just cut right through it. Well, that's good. Alright, Sawsquatch has been officially commissioned. Well, I think that's about all I'm going to do for today. It's going to be dark here pretty soon, but my ankle is starting to give me fits. So I'll get this restacked, get this pile restacked, and put away. And then it'll be dark. I got everything put away. I stickered those hemlock boards this time. Hopefully I'll use them before they get dried out. But that'll make a big difference getting them apart again. They won't be froze together next time. That was a good start. Get those squared up. Next time we'll try to do something else. Maybe eventually I'll get that done sometime before the next century.